Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. If you're new, you're really welcome. I'm Jane. My husband Mike is behind the camera. We're British, early retirees, debt and mortgage free, and living a thrifty, frugal and money saving life on a super tight budget here in Brittany in northwest France. And every Wednesday we open our home and we invite you in for a midweek money chat. So let's take a look at today's topic. The very title of Toxic Frugality might have drawn you in for the very first time. So I'm going to give you a bit of a backstory very quickly about us. Like we say in every video, we are debt and mortgage free. I've got a bit of a list here, so bear with me. We have a 12-month fully funded emergency fund. We save 10% of our income every month for long-term savings. That's for well into the future and anything we might need in the future. We save for a new car to pay cash for it. We have all our insurances sorted out, from health insurance to home insurance to car, all sorted out. We have a unique written monthly budget. We also budget for discretionary spending. We have saved into our pensions. We have sinking funds set up, and we have all of our living costs and everything sorted. And we do so by, even though that amount of money we live off is small, we live a thrifty, frugal and money saving life. However, we do not live a hair shirt life. We say to ourselves, on the scale of frugality, of being not frugal at all to absolute self-deprivation and all of this, we're somewhere in the middle. We live comfortably, we are never cold, we are never hungry. If our house, our car or us need any maintenance, we make sure that we have funded that. Still looking at my list here. So, we are sharing with you today about toxic frugality, about kind of behaviours that we have witnessed personally and often come from comments that we receive. In spite of everything that we share with people, for sometimes it's not right and it's not good enough, and you can imagine the kind of criticism that we get. So that's why we're calling it toxic frugality, because there's a lot of behaviour that is well known and can be called toxic, and there's some of it that is attributed sometimes to frugality, and that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the very tricky subject of toxic frugality. There's always the frugal critic, isn't there? You can share your budget, you can share your meal plan, you can share your shopping haul, you can share jobs you've done around the house, you can share your DIY, you can share any aspect of your life, and there will be frugal criticism. You could have done it cheaper. You've spent too much money on that. I wouldn't have done it that way. You're not doing it the right way. You bought the wrong food. You shouldn't have bought anything that is a name brand. You shouldn't have bought that new. You should have bought that second hand. You shouldn't buy a car that size. You should buy a smaller car. You should buy a this. You should buy a that. Even if you are sharing your personal level of frugality and what you do personally and what is frugally right for you, you just wait. And it commonly happens. It commonly happens. And I know this because I follow lots and lots of frugal channels in that frugal world out there, and frugal Facebook pages and frugal groups, for example. They are there, ready to pounce, aren't they? And criticism, ready to heap it on people. You're just doing it wrong, and they'll be right there, ready to criticize you. The next one is frugal arrogance. Now, when it comes to frugal arrogance, these people who make these kind of comments, they are the only people who are frugal. You've never heard of frugality. They know all about it. They invented frugality. You have just got off the frugal boat. They have not only built the frugal island, they built the whole frugal continent. They know it all. They absolutely know it all. No matter what you do, they know better, and they're going to tell you. No. Whatever you've done, it's not just, do you think you should? They'll outright tell you, this is the way I do it. This is the way I do it. Works for me. You need to be doing it. And often they think they're well-meaning and it's sharing, but it's absolute boastful, prideful arrogance. No. I am the way. I know the way. This is my way. You know absolutely nothing. Look at me. Frugal arrogance. I've got to rein this one in. Mike says don't rant, so I'm going to be really good about this one. The next one is all about frugal blaming, frugal shaming, frugal virtue signalling, isn't it? So let me go through the list of things that we've apparently done so very, very wrong, and all those other frugal people are doing very, very wrong. If you cut wood, if you have a wood burning stove, then you, personally, for your frugality, it's wrong frugality, you are to blame for all the CO2 emissions in the world. You own a home, outright, paid for. You should feel, next thing you know, you're to blame. You, Generation X, all those people and all the boomers, it's your fault. It's your fault. We need to blame you for the generations that have come along before and after that couldn't afford it. All of us people who go out and get the reduced price food, the stickers at 8:30, 7:30 in the morning when the supermarket's open. We're meant to feel guilty about the people going to work who can't get there at that time. What about those people? What am I supposed to do about it? I don't really quite know. But obviously I'm supposed to feel guilty about it, and to assuage my guilt, I have to make comments about it. It doesn't matter what I do in my house or my garden, I've got to give some kind of caveat about it. So people don't want me to, they will, whatever I do frugally, it's not good enough, and people want me to feel guilt and blame and shame for all those things, and they're virtue signalling about all the things that I should or shouldn't be doing wrong. And obviously there's people out there far more frugal than me, far more ethical than me, far more perfect than me and their choices and goodness knows what else. So it really is some kind of toxic behaviour out there, that whatever you do within your frugality, somebody out there 1,000,000 times more frugal than you wants you to feel guilty about. Control and frugal controlling are very similar, aren't they? And what does that frugal control look like? We get the oddest comments that I am absolutely sure people would never say or never do in real life. Maybe they do. Maybe they do feel they have the right to walk into someone's house huffing and tutting like, shouldn't do that. What'd you put that there for? What's that? Why have you got one of those? I wouldn't do it that way. Don't do this. And it's very subversive, all of this controlling that they're doing. They're using all the techniques, aren't they? All those techniques to kind of control you in some way. They make you feel some kind of self-doubt, that the way you're saving money, or you're cooking, or you're doing something, or you're dressing yourselves, or you're having your house. They're putting this self-doubt into you all the way, aren't they? And it's a form of control. It's very coercive, this control of making you feel like you've done something wrong and maybe you should change it in some way. And often, again, loads of us, we have to really explain things to people, like, why we're doing it this way, or why I didn't do it this way, or the choices that I made, preempting the fact that those frugal controllers will make those kind of comments. And they are out there. Maybe they do it in their own home. Maybe they actually do it to other people. Maybe they sit there. Oh, you should. You bought that? You really bought that? Should you have bought that? Well, I don't know about that. Did you think about that? Did you think that you should have bought that? Did you not think about that? Did you not think about what you should have done about that? And it is a control mechanism, and it's done in the name of frugality. It's done in the name of money saving, and it's all of those again. There's all the arrogance and criticism, and it's really very much that, I am more frugal than thou. more frugal than other people, and it's out there, and it's very much a toxic behaviour, isn't it? We see this so regularly in frugal forums and frugal groups, and it's that thing of using control to put doubt in people's minds. Full-grown adults left to feel like, have I done that wrong? Should I have done that? When actually they probably haven't. So it's out there. Frugal control. We all learn as we go through life, don't we? More and more as we get older, and we know more about ourselves and more about other people, about boundaries and setting boundaries and respecting boundaries. But so many people, in the name of frugality, because they think, well, because I do frugality this way and you do frugality that way, they think that they don't have to respect these boundaries. And it is quite extraordinary, the things that people think it is okay to say and the questions that they think it's okay to ask. It's extraordinary that people think it's okay to say things like, if you're frugal, you shouldn't have dogs. If you're frugal, you shouldn't buy new clothes. How can you call yourself frugal when you live in a 3-bedroom house? Just have an apartment, that's all you need. Studio flat, that'll do you. You can't be frugal if you've got that, can you? And they don't respect people's own financial frugal decisions and frugal choices because it doesn't suit theirs. People will, honestly, and they do it, they will make personal remarks about your appearance, about your clothing, about the contents of your fridge, of your home, you name it. They think it's okay in the name of frugality to overstep those boundaries. And it's a funny old world, isn't it? Because some people just do it. And again, I just think, would they do that? Would they go to an open house with the owner there? Would they go there and go, yuck, ick, ugh, yucky, nasty, don't like it, what's all this about? I don't know. Do people actually do it? I doubt it. I do hope people have got better manners than that. I don't know. I think it's something about being English. Maybe it's unique to me as being very British, very English. That when you don't ask personal questions. If you know someone personally and they offer information about themselves, you're on a certain level. But just because you think you're in some kind of frugal community, and you are in a frugal community, we are of course in a frugal community, it is not our place ever to overstep those boundaries and make personal comments or ask personal questions. For example, I wouldn't go up to you and say to you, tell me, why did you budget that? Why did you buy that? Why did you spend so much money on your clothes? Why did you buy that branded handbag? It's overstepping the mark, isn't it? But so often, that kind of toxic frugality, people think it's okay because they kind of got that kind of, they're on their high horse, or they're speaking from their own perspective, think it's okay to say that. So, yeah, it happens. Oh, judgment. There are, aren't there? There are the frugal Puritans. There is this line. There is this line of frugality of which you must not step over it. And because they don't step over it ever, they think it's perfectly okay to judge absolutely everybody who does. Now, I'm getting older and older and older every single day, and what younger people do is more surprising to me every day, and the choices they make. But I'm not them. I'm not living their life. And like I said about the boundaries thing before, it's not my place. It just isn't my place to say to them, you shouldn't live that way, or you shouldn't think that way, or your behaviour shouldn't be. It's just not for me to judge them. And in the same way about the mistakes that people made, and we're very, very open. At one stage in our life, by 2009, we were £45,000 in personal debt. That was a car loan, that was a home improvement loan, and that was some credit card debt as well. We'd actually paid for things like the bits of the kitchen and stuff like that. A new kitchen on credit card. So we've made those personal mistakes in the past. We are not able, we live in the glass house. We cannot throw any stones whatsoever. But there may well be the frugal Puritans, the people who have never, ever, ever made any mistakes ever. And yeah, okay, they can sit there. And Michael and I were discussing this as we walk around the supermarket. We might be thinking in our heads, well, this is a load of food products and in the supermarket that I wouldn't buy. But if I saw somebody popping it in their trolley, I wouldn't be tapping them on the shoulder going, you're wasting your money, you're wasting your money. But, like, you know, with the frugal Puritans, I don't know, maybe, do they do it? Do they do it? Because they do it in Facebook groups. They absolutely do it on YouTube comments. They absolutely do. They do it on Instagram. They do it on TikTok. They're there, aren't they? That you know, making those kind of value judgments about people. And they you know, they call them stupid. They call them all sorts of names. And it's like, hang on a minute. You know, what we think and what we say, there should be a sort of some kind of line, shouldn't there? Think about it. We should think about it. So yeah, I think it's definitely an aspect of toxic frugality that people think because you know they're doing frugality in their way that they can judge other people. If you've been here before, you know that I like to be reflective. So let's have a think about this. As we say here in France, vive la différence. Frugality is not a one size fits all. So the way I save money, or the way you save money, or the way I shop or budget, all of those things is unique to all and every one of us. And if it works for you, good for you. And you like me and all the rest of us, you know, you want to share that within the frugal community. And we can't please everybody, and we will get criticism, and we will get blaming, and we will get people being arrogant and know-it-alls and smart Alex, and you should do this, and you know, you've only just got off the frugal boat. You will be at different places in your frugal journey. You may be young and saving up money. You may be paying off your student debt. You might have accumulated a lot of medical debt through no fault of your own. You didn't decide to get sick. You didn't, you know, you might have done the best and looked into your medical insurance and it was the best you could get and it left you with a lump of debt. You may have got divorced and been left with a trainer that I don't know, you don't know, we don't know each other's personal circumstances, do we? We don't know where we are or the choices that we make. You might live in the depths of a rural place and save money through hunting and fishing. You may live in a very urban environment and save money through dumpster diving. Your choices are your own, and we cannot please everybody all of the time. And we are going to come across people who think that we don't do the right thing, we don't do frugality their way, and they would do frugality differently. And, you know, us being the bigger people, you know, we brush it off as best we can, and we learn not to take it to heart. And we get better at that as we get older. And we're a bit more reflective about that, but as I said, we do not and cannot please everybody. Thank you everyone for watching. If you have enjoyed it, hit the like button. Leave a comment. We read every single one of them. If you're not a subscriber, go on, hit the subscribe button. It costs you nothing. And we will see you next time. Goodbye.